Good day, everyone. I'm Anna Spinska, and I'll be hosting today's program. The purpose of today's program is to bring the most brilliant of living composers to the attention of a wide audience and to give you all an opportunity to hear new quartet music. For today's, we are featuring new quartet music performed by extraordinary groups, Ruth Quartet from Moscow and Argus Quartet from New York. You will hear live performances of new quartets by Argus Quartet, an established chamber ensemble based in New York, who will be joining us from the studios in Manhattan Neighborhood Network based in New York City. You will meet the composers whose pieces are presented today. You will hear about these pieces, how they came to be, from the authors themselves. And you'll be able to post your questions. Please do so and have them answered by the members of the Argus Quartet and the composers. Today's show will be featuring the exceptional talent of Argus String Quartet. The quartet is dedicated to encouraging the joys of human connection, community, discovery of bringing wide-ranging repertoire to life through bold and meaningful programming and vibrant commitment to collaboration and education. Praised for playing with supreme melodic control and total authority, and decided dramatic impact by the Calgary Herald, the quartet quickly emerged as one of today's most dynamic and versatile ensembles. Based in New York City, the Argus Quartet was founded in Los Angeles in 2013, where its members shared many meals at their favorite taco truck on Argus Drive. And I would like to introduce our first composer, Jane Brockman. The piece which will be performed today is called Beneath the Surface of a Sea of Silence. Jane Brockman holds a doctorate in music composition from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. She studied in Paris on Fulbright Alliance franchise fellowship, and she worked in Vienna on Rackham Prize. Her awards and honors include MacDowell Colony, Sundance Institute, Ziegwald Thompson Prize for Orchestra Composition, and the Composers Conference. She was an associate professor of music composition and theory at the University of Connecticut, Storrs, and the Hart School of Music, University of Hartford. She taught at the University of Rhode Island as well, and I'm really proud and very pleased to introduce and welcome on stage Jane Brockman, who will say a few words about her composition being presented today. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you, Anna. I'm really glad to be here, and thank you all for coming this morning today. So the piece is titled, based on a one-line poem of Rabindranath Tagore, the Indian poet, famous Indian poet. The world is the ever-changing foam that floats upon the surface of a sea of silence. And so there are levels here. And I never like to say much about how to listen because everyone listens differently. But just put yourself on the train and go with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this beautiful performance. And thank you, Jean Brockman, for composing this wonderful piece. We're moving on to our next composition, which will be presenting Igor Korneitchouk. The piece Argus Quartet will perform momentarily is called Six Frames for String Quartet. Igor Korneitchouk started composing 40 years ago, excited about experimental music. His interest led him to graduate studies at the University of California at San Diego. While at UCSD, he was awarded grants from UC Regents and the American Music. In 1983, he won the CalArts Young Composers Contest. In 1989, Igor Korneitchouk received a National Endowment of the Humanities Fellowship to study jazz at Yale University. He was a professor at San Diego Mesa. He continues writing even now after recently retired and pursuing critical environmental work. I'm happy to present, welcome on stage, Igor Korneitchouk. Welcome.
Hello.
Great pleasure to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
Hope to hear a little bit about your piece.
Sure. First, thank you all for coming to this. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time zone you are. We are definitely in a new world, able to broadcast to all corners, so that's quite amazing. But thank you for being here. I don't want to say too much. I want to leave things to your imagination. But this piece was written in that time frame that Anna was talking about 40 years ago, over 40 years ago, while I was a student at the Cleveland Institute of Music. And though I'm very proud of this piece, you will hear, I think, if you are familiar with these composers, little hints of the models of composers that I was studying back then. Charles Ives, Elliott Carter, György Ligeti, composers like that. They're a little, I can hear them myself now quite clearly. Um, I don't write quite this music anymore, but I'm proud of this piece, and the piece is called Six Frames. Think of it more as a set of photographs, musical photographs of an incident that I'll leave you to imagine. Uh, I didn't have a particular incident in mind, but that is the concept.
Bravo. What a fabulous performance. What a wonderful, wonderful piece. Thank you so much for working on this and bringing it from 40 years ago. It sounds very contemporary to me, far-sight looking. Thank you. We'll be introducing our next piece and the next composer of today's program. The composition is called Marianne by Jenny Game. And I'd like to say a few words about Jenny. Dr. Jenny Game is a Dean Academic at Australia's JMC Academy, where she leads the Creative Practice Research team. She has been composing and performing for over 30 years. She composes across diverse musical styles and genres, from the concert hall to the circus. Her intercultural, chamber opera, The Aqueduct, was premiered at the Dries Strong Chamber Music Festival at the Powerhouse in Brisbane in 2013. In 2019, Jenny composed the music for the highly celebrated circus production of Dispersion, directed by Sebastian Hunter from Cirque du Soleil. And I'm so proud and so happy to have Jenny join us live all the way from Australia. It's ungodly hours there, Jenny, and we really appreciate you being able to come on board today and speak about your piece.
Thank you, Anna. It's wonderful to be here, and it's lovely to have it. This is my first dawn concert, so it's fabulous to hear that last piece as the sun rose. So, so Marianne is based on the artworks of Australian artist called Edward Heffernan, and a friend of mine who plays a 5-string double bass grew up looking at these pictures, and they impacted his whole life. So this piece, Marianne, it was actually based on a nude of a woman, Marianne, who was languishing on a couch, and the whole piece is uses the cello as the main melody instrument, and you can hear the long lines that are sort of following the flow of the picture and of Marianne's body. And the second movement is based on some other artworks of a Heffernan, a series of that was liner cut signs of the zodiac, and it's a slightly tongue-in-cheek series of artworks where a lot of the ideas and images are interchangeable, and I've used sort of invertible counterpoint in a similar way, lots of ideas that are interchangeable between the instruments. But and that's all I'd like to say on that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. What a pleasure to hear Mariana by Jenny Game. And Jenny, I appreciate very much you taking time. I think it's in the godly morning hours in Australia. But what a gift to be able to connect across the world like this. Thank you for joining us today. The next composition is going to represent the composer Augusta Bates. The title of the composition is Spring Peepers from the Tug Hill, again by Augusta Bates. Augusta Bates' life as a composer began at the early age of 6, and she's still composing. Now hear this, 82 years later. Do your math. She earned a BA Music Theory in 1956 at Syracuse University, music history in 1960, again in Syracuse University, and an honorary doctorate in Italian in 1992. Augusta Bates has written over 300 compositions for small ensembles, orchestras, choruses, instrumental and vocal soloists, and ensembles, 4 operas, including Molly of the Mohawks, which has had over a dozen performances since 2008. Augusta is presently employed as an organist for 2 local churches. And as a lady, I'm not going to repeat for you about her age, but I hope you did the math. Extremely proud and happy to welcome Augusta Bates to our program, and I hope to hear some notes about your composition. Looking forward to it. Wonderful. Thank you very much for this short and brilliant piece, and what a great performance of it. We are moving on to the next piece on our program and introducing the next composer, Jerry Casey. The piece is titled One Yet Different. Jerry Casey lives in Naples, Florida. She was the featured guest composer for the McConnell Art Center Chamber Orchestra in Worthington, Ohio. She was awarded the 2009 Marilyn Etzel Piano Commission by the Iowa Composers Forum. Mrs. Casey was on the faculty at the University of Cumberland, Williamsburg, Kentucky, and was an adjunct teacher at Florida Southwestern State College, Fort Myers, Florida. And we'll hear the piece. Thank you very much, Jerry Casey, for this wonderful composition, and thank you, Argus Quartet, for this eloquent preparation and fabulous performance of today's compositions. I would like to again welcome on stage the Argus Quartet and the composers, so we can have a little bit of a conversation to wrap up this program. Let's have everyone join us. Okay, welcome Igor. Welcome, Jenny. Welcome the quartet. And let's give another round of applause to the wonderful Argus Quartet. Bravo, bravo, bravo. What a fabulous performance. Jane, your camera is turned off. If you can please turn it on and unmute yourself so we can hear you. First of all, I would like to ask the Argus Quartet, just please say a few words about your preparation and how you felt about performing today.
Everybody for joining us this afternoon or morning or evening.
Yes, we're all in different time zones. Isn't that incredible?
We were just so grateful to be a part of this project, and we want to thank Vox Novus and all of the composers that were involved. It's a very special opportunity to be able to work with each of the composers and to have a series of workshops with them as they sort of see the piece develop, and we work with them in order to develop the interpretation of how we perform. And that's something that's very special to us, and a process that is extremely rewarding. And here today, we're very happy to share the result of that, and hopefully these pieces will continue to grow as they gather more performances, and hopefully we'll also have a chance to see them again in the future.
Wonderful. That's a fabulous introduction, and what a great way to this is a very appropriate name, very well done. The workshops, working with composers, I was part of those rehearsals, and it's very enriching experience to hear the feedback from the composers. I wanted to just ask a couple of quick questions. Maybe Igor, you'll take my first question if you don't mind. What did you find the most challenging in preparing for this program for yourself?
Oh, well, actually, what I found really interesting, and it's challenging, it took me back, all the way back to when I was a student, listening to compositions that I had written, performed by my fellow students at the Cleveland Institute of Music, where I did my undergraduate and bachelor work, master's work, is that I got very nervous just listening and not being able to do anything. I'm just here in front of the screen. And I remember when I was a student, I would clutch the armchair because there's nothing I can do.
It's completely out of your control.
It's completely
out there in the world.
To other people. And that feeling that I haven't experienced in a long time came back with this new world presentation.
Did you feel the presentation turned out as expected or unexpected?
Oh, it went really well. I mean, the performance was really great. Thank you, Argus. That was great. And I don't know exactly what I expected because I was unsure, and I tried to be very calm. In fact, I almost forgot about any sort of preparation because I didn't really want to imagine something that might not actually be real.
Very interesting. Jerry, would you like to take my next question? You worked with the quartet through the rehearsals. How did you find this way of connecting, virtually? You're not in the same space for the rehearsals. How do you find that experience?
That was challenging. That was definitely challenging. The sound and also just making sure I had the time zone right was strangely stressful. Yeah, look, it worked. It's fabulous, and it was really great to have conversations and they asked questions. I think in the second session, there was a lot more conversation, and I sort of shared what I thought was working, and which was their approach, their instincts, the questions they asked were so good that I was able to say, look, you're really thinking about this exactly the right way. Just go with it the way you're thinking about it. And I heard quite a few interpretations, the lines they brought in and out. I felt like they really owned the piece. They took it and made it their own. So that was really, really fantastic to hear.
Interesting. Did you feel that working through the virtual means was more of an opportunity or more of an obstacle? So, like, did you feel that?
I think it was an opportunity. I mean, they're both at the same time. I mean, the screen's the screen, but it wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't be here now. So, no, it's definitely an opportunity.
Thank you very much. And I know you had to make lots of adjustments with the time zones. And I can't imagine, I would need a whole pot of coffee to be up at this hour and being part of the program. And really, thank you for making this tremendous effort. And Jane, I know your microphone is turned off. If you can please unmute yourself. And I wanted to ask you, how did you feel? Okay, the headphones are on. Can you hear me now? Just say a couple of words. Yes, we can hear you.
How about now?
Yes, we can definitely hear. So, how did you feel that this virtual performance of your concert? Of course, we would love to be in the hall present when the piece is being performed. But is this just a mere substitute? Is it really hampering the quality of your imagination, how you imagined the piece? How did you feel about that?
Well, I always love being in the proximity of performance. It's just so inspiring. But we can't do that now. So I'm grateful for what we're doing. And the Argus Quartet, they're such a group of pros. When we notate music, I try to put down everything possible that would give the performer an idea of how to perform it. But music notation only has a certain amount of capability, and so the art is really in the interpretation. And they're really great pros. I appreciate their performance.
Thank you so much. And before we finish, I want to really extend many thank yous to the Argus Quartet for working under these conditions with a remote connection and really bringing to life these pieces. I was glued to the screen just watching and listening to it. You've brought life to this music, and this is really wonderful. Thank you for your great effort, and thank you everyone. Jane, Igor, Jenny, Augusta, thank you for joining us and being part of this program, and for doing the work you do, composing this beautiful music, keeping music alive and moving it forward. Thank you so much for doing that. And with this, we'll be saying goodbye to our audience. Thank you for being part of it. There were quite a few comments, and I would like to show them. Thank you, members of the audience, for being active, for being yourself, making yourself present, making yourself visible. It's really very important for the artists and musicians to feel our audience. And a lot of times, we talk about feeling the audience breathe. Now we can't right now get that feedback. So your comments are heartwarming. They're really confirmation that what we're doing is well received. and that it has some positive impact on your day. Hopefully your day is better because you watched this program today. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Vox Novus, and everyone else involved in organizing this contemporary quartet project. Performers, composers, it's a great pleasure to be part of your community. Thank you all very much. And with that, we say goodbye.